Hi everyone, so welcome back for another video, and yes, it's coming up to the full moon, so this is my time to express and feel into the energies that what is coming in right now, because the last probably few days, 4 days, I mean today's Wednesday the 5th of April, but 4 days prior to now, I've definitely been feeling the full moon energies coming in. So I just thought I would get on here, record a video, felt so guided just to see what's coming in for us. And, as you guys know, I'm posting these a bit more regularly now, new moon and full moon cycles. Just getting back into the rhythm of doing these videos because I have missed them, guys. These two are what I've been drawn to today. Especially this one, like the 7 chakras, the 7 energy systems, like this is something that I seriously I live by the 7 chakras and really tuning into myself and my energy centers and just seeing what chakra in my energy system needs attention. And recently I have definitely been feeling into these energies. So I just wanted to read the card and just see what come out and just see if it does really align to how I've been feeling the last few days. But I'm definitely feeling that intense, things are just coming up now. I'm feeling that a bit of that pressure, a pressure that's something's about to birth, something's about to come out into the open, something's about to just release from me. And I've definitely been feeling a little bit more like I need to rest recently. I felt a lot like I've needed a bit of time off just to switch off and to just recuperate, re-energize for this new cycle. So I've definitely been feeling a lot of that. So switching off from work projects, stuff like that, and spending a lot more time actually with my family because we have a new addition to my family, which I'm so happy about. My little nephew, Grayson Goldberg. Oh my God. He's insane, but he's amazing. So I thought I would, how funny, this just completely popped out, but this is not a message. But actually it is a little bit of a message, I think. Just the fact that just came out, the whole pack, everything's in the pack and this just popped out from the top. But I'm going to put that aside because it's so funny. The recent video David and I have just posted on our page, which was The Flowering of Woman, which is our podcast. That's on all platforms on podcast. It's episode 2 of our series of love, sex and relationships. But the second episode was all about the flowering of woman. And we were talking about the rose and the thorns and the stem. So there's definitely some feminine energy here supporting us. So I'm just going to pop that at the top before I go in and shape these up a bit, get the energies into them and see what messages we have for this full moon cycle. I've also had a lot of release around my face. Spots are coming out. This is normally a sign of just the body detoxifying, and my dreams as well recently have been very there's been a lot of emotion going on, and things have been going into my dreams and just bringing things up. So dreams, you don't really fully understand what they mean, and not to look into them too deeply, but you can definitely look into dreams of remembering of how they made you feel, and that's definitely an indication on something that's coming up. And my dreams have definitely been doing that the last 3 nights. So this should all pass once the full moon has passed. The dreams sort of settle back down again. But I've definitely been feeling this energy. So let's see what the cards have to say. There's also been some other messages that are coming out super strong for me this week that I wanted to share with you, which I probably will in this video. That's to do with our heart space, or just having compassion and self-love for yourself and others. It's been really super strong for me this week, and I've been feeling like I'm preparing for this. So 2 have come out. Oh, this is amazing. What is supporting us is deep breath, and this is all in our heart space, guys. Can you see this? I'll get out of the way. A deep breath. And I'm actually going to do that with you guys now. I want you guys to just sit back and relax wherever you are watching this, whether it be a train, whether it be your bedroom, living room, another friend's house, wherever you are. I just want you to take a moment and breathe everything is okay. It's all as it's meant to be. So we're taking a deep breath into the diaphragm, into the chest, all around this area. And breathe out. Calming that central nervous system, calming your energies, grounding your energies, and taking one more. Right into that belly. Feeling your belly button just literally expand as much as it can. And then breathing out. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck. I'm doing it again, breathing in. And breathing out. Ooh, that felt amazing. You know what? No matter what you go through, guys, emotions come and go. They pass. They actually pass. So no matter how angry, frustrated, triggered, emotional you're feeling at any moment of the day, it passes. So just be with yourself for that moment. And this is where I'm actually going to go into this compassion side, because, you know, we all go through day-to-day cycles. We all go through emotional fluctuations. Something can knock us off course, and then suddenly, you know, we go from feeling very present, very here, very, you know, happy, but then something will trigger us, and then suddenly we'll go into the response. This is like a reactional, like this is a body response coming from our fight and flight nervous system, and it can just completely shift us out of the present moment into a distortion of our past experiences, and suddenly we're identified with an emotion that's, you know, come from the past, but then we're re-experiencing it now in the moment. Just remember, whenever you feel off center, wherever you feel very triggered, taking a deep breath will allow the emotion to pass so much quicker, like so much quicker, rather than you like holding on to it or projecting it, which is like the initial response. It's like a bodily response where we just want to project the pain, project it onto whoever we're with, blame, project, you know, deny, defend. These are all natural coping mechanisms that we've built up over time, you know, from generational, from our parents. Like it literally can be generations. Like it's not just you, it's your parents, it's your parents' parents. And you know, especially if we've got some undealt emotions in our past, like say we haven't really processed something that's happened to us in our past, it could be coming up at this moment for you. And when these feelings do come up, and they can be like they could be so emotional, they could be so painful, they could be so angry or like resentful, or literally any emotion that can come up. Breathing your way through that emotion, knowing consciously that it will pass, will get you through it so much quicker. And, you know, to take yourself away from a situation, take yourself away to breathe and like say to whoever you're with that you are used to projecting onto, taking yourself out of the room, taking yourself outside, wherever it is you need to do to just take responsibility of your reactions, will allow you to pass through them quicker. If you choose, which is not a choice, it's sometimes just a natural reaction. If you choose to project and you choose to blame, or you choose to make someone else feel just as painful as you feel, then you're going to be in this loop cycle of just continuous pain. Like you're going to cause more pain, more guilt, more shame by projecting it from away from you onto another person. So it's actually super, super important that you realize how to become responsible for your own triggers, like to actually take yourself outside, away from everyone, to allow this process to happen naturally. You try this once and you realize the karma from this, that, you know, you come back and you feel more calm, more collected, more centered, and then you're then more in a state of, you know, calmness and safety where you can communicate your feelings that just come up. You know, for example, David and I, like if anything comes up between us, you know, we know to be like, right, I'm triggered right now. I need to take myself away. And in that moment, you know, you take yourself away, you can come back and he or I communicate, oh, that was a lot. Like I was feeling emotional. I was feeling angry. I was feeling like I wanted to blame you for this. You know, and then I can then go into it, or David can go into it, but like, you know, what does this remind you of? When did you last feel this? And there's like a process that you can go just communicating, like, you know, what that person needs. And, you know, if you're a person that gets triggered very easily, Even just coming back, talking to your partner and saying, when I'm in this state, this is what I need from you. That is so, oh my God, it's so important to say to your partner, when I am in this state, this is what I need from you, whether it be space, whether it be just a cuddle, whether it be acknowledgement. Because as a partner of someone who's being triggered, it's very hard to know what to give them at that time, especially if you're not the one that's, you might have said something that triggered them, but there's nothing actually in you that's, really made that happen. It was sort of actually just okay, this is just happening right now, and it's not personal to me, but it's actually happening within that person. You can really ask that person what they need from you, and that is so important with the communication, just so then you're on the same page of that person, and you create that safety for the person to communicate to you properly, because that's what's most important, and if it's you going through the trigger, you expressing to your partner what you need from them at that time. But I know full fact, if you're in the trigger and you're trying to express what you need, you're not clear. You're not clear. You're not present. You're in your pain, and when you're in your pain, you're projecting your pain. So it's very hard to tell someone what you need from them at the time you're in the trigger. You can only really communicate that when the trigger's passed, or before you're even triggered. If you're just day to day and you're actually like, okay, if this happens again, this is what I need from you. And that will just help you feel more safe for you to process the emotion properly. And when you process the emotion properly and you're allowing it to pass by taking yourself outside, or if at that time you're triggered, that person cuddles you and just gives you that safety even more, you're then more likely to release the emotion and feel the emotion behind the projection, behind the anger, behind the resentment, because these are all secondary emotions, guys, and underneath these emotions are actual pain. They're past experiences of pain and rejection, and it's always separation, and any part of us, emotions are all just broken love. It's broken love. It's where you've been mistreated or hurt and shamed, and from another person. These parts are broken inside of you, but these parts are seeking to be fixed inside of you. So these projections, these triggers will go into these emotions, trigger the painful experience and the past experience, in order for you to process them and give them what they need. So the broken part of you that got rejected, what does that need from you? What does that need from your partner? It needs trust, it needs safety. So communicating, when I am triggered, communicating to your partner, the next time this happens, I really just need some reassurance from you. I really need some safety from you, and just presence from you in order for me to just feel safe in my body again. And the power of that is so transformative. I can't even describe. But obviously, if you're in a painful experience of maybe a distrust or a broken part, you're identified with that emotion, you will be like, you'll blame. You'll be like, you're doing this to me, you're hurting me, you're rejecting me, you're doing this. But actually, sometimes, and most of the time, it is just a repeat of the past experience, and you're seeing it through the lens of your painful experience when you're in the trigger. So it's very important for you to calm that trigger down and then communicate after it's passed, because you will only see pain when you're experiencing a trigger, and whatever that other person does won't be enough for you. So this is why I say it's very, very healthy for you to take yourself away, allow the emotion to pass, and then come back and then communicate. Oh, okay, I was super triggered right now. And then that person saying, okay, what is it you need from me? Or you saying, okay, I really need some safety from you right now because I'm feeling so unsafe in my body. And then that person, if they love you, or even if it's a friend or family member, whoever it is you're with and you're spending a lot of time with, for them to just give you that reassurance and that cuddle and that safety in that moment after the trigger's passed. So I hope that really, I don't know, that just went off somewhere off of that message. I don't even know what message I'm looking for. Oh yeah, the breathe. And wow, it's really interesting because I've got Broken Open. Can you see this one? Yes, Broken Open, and I've got Into Me, I See. And that's really, I don't know if you can see. And these are very powerful messages. I've got 28 and number 8 as well, which is all about 8 is strength, it's perseverance, it's it's like this inner strength, this inner worth. It's all about your worthiness. It's very linked to your solar plexus as well, this number 8. And I'm feeling a lot of fiery energy. So if you are like a fiery character, and if you've built up that fiery identity of yourself, of like being that strong, independent woman, this is probably why I'm seeing this rose as well, because I was talking about the rose and the stem and the thorns in my previous video on my David and I's podcast. But I was relating the stem and the thorns here, like these are like the traits of like a woman who's had experience, a woman who's experienced painful experiences in her past, and a woman who's actually got these thorns that have like, they're like protection thorns, and like, you know, like that whole, this is the woman I've developed and these are the thorns and the experiences I've had, but I need to be strong to hold myself up. And you know, that is something that I think a lot of women go into as they get older. Their stem and their thorns, they get harder and they get spikier, but it's also a journey to blossom this rose. Like, we're not designed to just be a thorn with no head. Like, we're not designed as women to be that. The journey of a woman is to come into blossom, is to come into fluorescence and blossom within her. And this is really about your heart chakra opening. And I see a lot of green. This is green on the number 28. And this is the journey to like inner strength, because I've got 8 here, which is very like, it's like a journey. It's like your strength, your conditioning, like who you are as a woman. But then the 2 and the 8, the 2 represents a journey. So this is like the journey to becoming a true woman. And that starts with breaking that heart open. And that heart that's like protected you, that you've maybe put walls and barriers up in order to feel safe and to not get hurt again, is actually not serving you anymore. So you're probably like, if your heart is quite closed and it's guarded and you're scared of letting people in, you're probably experiencing a lot more intensified triggers right now. You're probably getting like experiences of men or women, you know, if you're a man or woman, like coming at you to really test this barrier that you've built up, to really shake down these walls for you to just completely go, you know what, I give up these walls. And it's something that moment of surrender where you just go, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I literally can't hold myself together anymore. Like, and it's at that moment, like your whole heart can actually, you give yourself permission to just go, like, open the heart. And this is where, yes, you may cry, you may feel tears of sadness and pain like from your past, but in truth, you're really giving yourself the acknowledgement and love and allowing yourself to process what's happened to you in the past, you know, because a lot of the time the experiences we experience in the past are so painful and so like overwhelming, like you can't physically like process that emotion like at the time. So we tend to just shut off from that emotion, get on with things, and then, you know, they come up in like moments throughout your lifetime of just like, you know, those triggers like I was talking about earlier. But it's so important for you to actually like just be with yourself. You know, into me I see, like, start seeing your pain, start seeing your traits that aren't serving you, start seeing the conditions that you've put in guard of yourself. Like, you know, you might have just developed this whole shell and this whole independent woman where no man can really come in, and also will stop you from flourishing as a woman. Because this part of the rose, it needs watering, it needs attention, it needs feeding, it needs nurturing for you to grow this. And if you're not nurturing yourself, if you're not putting yourself in nurturing positions with people and experiences, like, and you're choosing to go with people that are recreating the past, then you're not flourishing. You're just repeating the past patterns. But it's time for you to like go within and really start listening to yourself and acknowledging your needs and acknowledging what you need to be a better human, to be better for yourself. And that takes nurturing, it takes time, it takes patience. But, you know, the more patience and light you allow in, and the more acknowledgement you allow for those broken parts of yourself, the more you are going to come up to this rose and the flourishing of that rose. And you're going to meet parts of yourself that are just so sweet and so innocent. And you're going to remember the old you, which is like the childlike you, like that 7-year-old you, that 5-year-old you that was just pure innocence and pure bliss and pure like sweetness. And you're going to meet her or him again. You will. Like you really will. And when you start nurturing and learning to mother and father yourself, because you've got to learn to do both. You've got to create the safety and the containment and that it's the safety and containment from your father, which is what every single one of us needs, woman and man. And then you've got to create that nurturing and that motherly side of a woman, of your mother in turn as well. So the safety and the nurturing together on yourself, you are literally reparenting yourself in order to heal those wounds from your childhood. And and this is where everything comes from. We're just literally repeating cycles of our parents, and unless we actually acknowledge these cycles within us, we will continue to recreate those experiences in our children, and our children will also be recreating those experiences from themselves and their children. And that's how things go. Unfortunately, this is the life we live in, and it's really like now is the time to be responsible for your own triggers and to really take action into like opening up your heart again, opening up, to just acknowledge that, you have broken parts of you, and it's absolutely okay. Like, it's absolutely normal that we are broken. We are not all perfect human beings on this earth. You can see by the reflection of what's going on outside. It's bloody chaos out there. But there's also, new levels of love and awareness that are coming in for us, through these cycles, through these changes, through these moons, through these energy shifts and, the universal shifts that are happening right now. The global awareness of consciousness is just expanding more than ever for us. It's like the great global awakening, and it's happening right now. And unless we are really doing our inner work and actually acknowledging that there's things in us that are really holding us back from feeling what we truly want and desire, which is love, openness, fulfillment, peace, joy, love. Like, we all want to experience that fulfillment, not needing something outside of us because we are so fulfilled within us. That is the goal. And I know that was my goal, and I'm here to inspire and share my story, to you guys, to, and what I did to get myself into a place where I can't even compare myself, like the person I am now, how content and fulfilled I feel in this moment, in my past, like in the last 2 years of my life being with David. Like, it's been a journey, it's been a lot of ups and downs, but like, I don't know when it really fully shifted, but something shifted probably just before I married him. And then since November last year, 2022, like the last 5 months have just been like, I've had challenges, don't get me wrong, but that containment, the fulfillment and that contentment within me has stuck around. And that's so nice to feel daily, because it means I could be more present for myself, more present for my family, more present for David, more present for my extended family, and help others more. When you're okay, you can help everyone else be okay. But when you're not okay, it's very hard to extend yourself. And I had to go into that cocoon for a while, but I learned so much. And now I'm here out of that, and it really in a place in myself of that I can really truly start to see myself blossom, and, to see like how creative I can be and what I'm capable of, and that I actually haven't got much holding me back. But yeah, just apart from just enjoying every day and just enjoying what comes to me, not putting pressure on myself, like I'm meeting the new me. And, I've been so used to this stem and these thorns my whole life, but being more in that rose and just flowering and growing every single day is such a beautiful journey to be on. And I can also see in other women around me, and that those I'm actually helping at the moment on doing my one-to-one clients, like seeing them blossom, I'm just like so proud of them, because they're experiencing what I've experienced. And it couldn't bring more love to me to be able to help another woman flourish and see her flourish, and to be there for her through her painful experiences, and be there as a support system to tell her it's okay. Like, my Reiki therapy sessions are super strong, they're super transformative, and but to see and to connect with other like-minded women that were me, and to help them through in a quicker process than I went through, because I didn't really have that support. I didn't have anyone helping me. It was like more self-discovery within me. But to be able to offer that service, I just can't even cope like how rewarding it is. And yeah, I'm just super blessed to be where I am right now. And I really hope that, you know, whoever's watching this, like, feel inspired to, you know, to doing this work, because it's so worth it. It's so worth it. I'm going to just do one more before we close off this video to see what the moon is really saying to us. You know, but there's definitely some strong messages coming through, and I hope that resonates with some of you on your journey. And the same with men as well, like, you know, seeing their vulnerability. In men, there's a powerful essence about being vulnerable. Seeing vulnerability in a man is what a true man should be. Men were so conditioned years and years ago to just have no emotion, be shut off, you know, not speak about how they feel, because they had to be strong. They had to be, you know, a certain way to be seen as a man in society. It's so changed now. Like, you know, and men need to know it's safe to be vulnerable now. And us women, you know, I hold my hands up. Like, I was one of the women that I hated needy men. I hated needy men and, like, you know, overly emotional men, but then the reason I did was because I wasn't vulnerable in myself. And because I wasn't vulnerable in myself, I was then meeting overly vulnerable men that were reflecting, and it was like showing me, I didn't realize this at the time, but it was showing me the lack of emotion and empathy and vulnerability in me having overly emotional men. And I really learned this meeting David, because he's such a sensitive, vulnerable guy. And at first, like, it really brought up these triggers of like, I can't deal with this. I wanted to shut him away. I wanted to push him out. But I didn't realize that it was my own vulnerability. Something just awakened in me, and I saw myself like, he's just hurt. Why am I not having empathy and compassion for him? Why can't I mother him? I used to be like, I'm not the mother of I don't want to be a mother in a relationship. I can't mother you. I so resented mothering. But that was exactly what he needed. Why couldn't I give that to him? Why couldn't I give that to my exes? Like, I was so like shut off to that, because I realized I had a really deep, strong mother wound within me. And it was only until I healed that and actually felt that lack of nurturing and motherly within me that I hadn't been doing to myself, that I could actually then mother and nurture the broken parts in my partner. And oh my God, as soon as I started doing that, what happened? He healed. He got exactly what he needed, which was someone's arms around him telling him everything's gonna be okay. And it really makes me even emotional a bit now. Because the me, like 5 years ago, and, you know, the me, like my whole from teenage years to me, like, yeah, like just before 2 years ago, like, I could never have done that for someone. Like, you know, I was so stern and so like shut off to that part of me, but just seeing how I made the change in me, how much it's made the change in David. And I can't, like, it's so weird that I'm emotional right now, but like, it's just so fulfilling that I managed to heal that wound and tell myself it's okay to nurture, it's okay to be the mother, because I'm giving him what he didn't have, and I'm giving myself what I didn't have. And there's so much beauty in that. And I feel like the world is really lacking empathy and compassion and nurturing for each other. It's very much just like pain and war. Oh my God, there's an army helicopter. I just said war, pain and war, there's fucking army helicopter just going by. You know, where people are just really projecting and expecting things to be better. But unless you've really learned that lesson in yourself, like, it's very hard to do that for someone else, you know? And that's why I know, like, that journey to self-discovery and learning these lessons within you and healing these wounds, how important it is on everyone that's around you. Like, if I hadn't have learned how to mother my wounds and father my wounds, how would have I been able to father and mother David's wounds, create that safety in him, you know, from other, because we need it for ourselves, we also need it in others. And because I did that for him, and I stopped like battering my head against a brick wall with him and projecting, like, our whole relationship dynamic changed, because then he started, when I went through things, he could be there and mother and father me too. And in that, we now can do that for our children. You know, his children are really, you know, they're going through a big change in their life. They're going through their hormones. 12 and 13, they are, one's turning 14 like next month. And, you know, for us to do that work, to be able to be there for them and to give them what they really truly need, of that space and nurturing and love and support, we all need that. We all need that support, and especially from our family members. Yet our family members or your children or your spouse, they're normally the ones that you project your deepest wounds to. They probably see a side to you they actually hate. You know, the children probably see a side to their parents. Every child probably sees a side to their parents that they hate. But, you know, that traumatizes a child, you know, and to your spouse, you see the evil sides to each other. And it's so, you know, it's so damaging, and it's so like, it's not nice behavior. And, you know, it starts with being accountable and responsible for yourself. And like, I hated that stern, harsh version of myself that I did it to my dad, I did it to my brother, I did it to my partners, I did it, you know, to my mom. Like I had this side to me for a really long time that I didn't actually like, and it was not serving me. It wasn't serving me. So for David to actually see that was just a broken part of myself, and for him to give me what I really needed, and for me to take responsibility of, okay, I can see myself, I can watch this side of myself, and I don't like it, so I'm going to do something about it. And I need to communicate with that part of me and see what it needs from me. And oh my God, my world changed. Like, I started learning so much more about myself and my needs and everything like that. And, you know, it just starts by taking responsibility, and you can just do that like right now. You can make that commitment to yourself. But yeah, sorry guys, I just had a bit of an emotion come up, but I had to be with it, I had to communicate it and acknowledge that within me. Let's see, last message please. Ooh. It's full moon. We've got the full moon in Cancer. Sorry guys. A personal issue reaches resolution. We got that. Amazing. Full moon, which is on the full moon, Cancer. So this is like, yeah, it's very emotional. It's being very vulnerable. So yeah, if there's something that's been at heads and there's been like a clash, like I said earlier in this video, if there's something that you know, it's heads meeting, it's going to come to a resolution. It's going to resolve. But I'm telling you right now, nothing comes to resolve without you doing the work. Nothing comes to resolve unless, sorry, I'm super snotty. Woo! Nothing comes to resolve if you don't give yourself some compassion through this butting of heads. You know, you've got to let your walls down. You've got to open up your heart. You have to be vulnerable. And I tell you what, like, thank me later. If you go into this, whatever this situation is at a personal level, and you keep repeating the same thing and nothing's working, you're butting heads, go in with an open heart. Like, you have nothing to lose. All you have to do is just open that heart up and be vulnerable and express the feelings that you feel. And, you know, through whatever you've gone through, just saying like, it makes me, you know, this situation, not you, don't blame, but just saying this whole situation is really bringing up past pain in me. I'm feeling neglected. I'm feeling left out. I'm feeling abandoned. I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling shameful. I'm feeling resentful. Whatever emotion you're feeling, you know, just express it, and then just communicate what that partner needs from you. And I promise you, you will thank me once you become vulnerable. You will thank me once you open that heart, even though maybe you don't want to admit you're wrong. The moment you admit you're wrong, oh my God, you have compassion for yourself again. If you don't admit something, or you don't get something off your chest, and you keep guarded, and you keep projecting that pain away from yourself, you're going to be met back with a slap in the face every single time, unless you change something that you're doing. You know, and you've got to make that change within you. You've got to decide, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to just be vulnerable in this situation and just try your best. And if you can't think about doing that with a person, write a letter. David and I are literally nearly finished our ebook. We actually produce an ebook full of, it's called Understanding Your Mind and Emotions and How to Heal Through Journaling. But this is one part of it, guys. Writing a letter to that person, writing a letter to someone, whether it be your mum, dad, partner, spouse, whoever it is, friend that you're having your butting heads with, and you just write an open, vulnerable letter to that person about how they make you feel, you know, what they are bringing up in you, you know, not just necessarily, not blaming them, but just saying, look, this is how what's happening, this situation we're in right now is making me feel this, and starting with that and writing it out. And if you want to communicate to that person how you're feeling, because it does help. But actually, if sometimes you don't want to communicate to that person, you want to let things settle first, you burn that letter, burn it and just release it from your body, because writing a letter allows that to come off of your heart onto paper. And then when that energy is on that paper and you burn that energy and it goes up into the light, it goes up into the sky, it releases part of that energy from your body and transmuted. So, you know, don't underestimate the power of journaling. It's so super healing. But obviously, if you do want to have an open heart conversation with someone as well, you're more than welcome, because you will just meet the vulnerability in the other person. When you're coming to a person and you're being vulnerable, the person will more likely be vulnerable in return. But if you're coming at it with a defending, attacking, you know, projecting, you will notice the wall come up in the other person and they will project it right back at you. That's just how the universe works. You know, so I hope this message and this video helped you. I know they're super different to, you know, what I used to do before, but I can't help what messages come through, and I'm here just to channel, communicate to you guys. And whoever's listening to this and whoever relates to this, please leave a comment and give me a like, because that really does help support our channel growth and for more people to just see these videos, and hopefully they help them too. So much love to you guys and lots of love.